I'm gonna go ahead and do the unorthodox. This is let me turn this light on because this doesn't look right. This is kind of, this is a continuation of a live I just did for my friend Tami, bringing in her sister and sister-in-law and her uncle. Anyways, at the close of it, I asked if there was anyone else for oh God, you guys can see this mess. I care not. Okay. As we closed the message, I asked if there was anyone else that cared to speak to Tami while I was available, and this giant came in. Scared me. What's the word? Shitless. Anyway, I've done some soul searching and some communications with my higher and my guides, and my internal instinct about it. And I'm realizing that there's nothing to fear, and that this one needs to come out. This giant needs to be heard, and he is big. So I'm gonna invite him back if he will. And he's here. Okay, so guys, this was the first for me. I'm gonna go ahead and open the floor to you to bring your message. He's breathing heavy, and it's frightening me, and he knows it. So he's telling me that he's going to communicate telepathically with me, and not use his voice for it. He's saying, I don't want to scare you, and it's making me sad. Thank you for being here. You are a relative of Tami's, are you? He says, I am so got. He says, so got is my name. He says, I am of her ancestors. Go ahead. I'm telling you, I knew her. Her four mothers, in other words, her female bloodline. You fell in love with her, didn't you? With her foremother. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, God, my stomach is so upset right now. Why is that? Because he's so big. He's massive. He's massive. Oh, my God, Tami. So you, on the female side of your bloodline, so got. He's saying, I amend for thee the harming of you. He's sorry that I'm so frightened, and that even the telepathic message is so heavy a weight upon me. And it is why my stomach is so upset. But you don't need to apologize. I really want to hear your heart. We, as the giants of our time, weren't meant for the solace of our hearts. He's saying, for the carrying of the confusion that one soul can be brought due to the feelings of the heart. He's saying it was frowned upon as giants to be crowning upon, meaning to adorn or adore someone, for our hearts to be given someone saying, I too had many masters. As the foregoing is true. So what he's saying is it was upheld that they didn't have feelings for. Are you human though? Don't you have human DNA? So what? He says we are true to your realm and share DNA. Yet from the Most High, we were not allowed. I am so dizzy right now. And I'm sick to my stomach. I'll be back, guys. And this is a big caseload, guys. So you so God. Go ahead. I was nearing my 16th century. When I begot my day of fallen, of being fallen. Century, you're 1600 years old. He's huge. I've never seen. I can't even see all of him. He is that big. He is just telling me he's holding his breath for him knowing that it's upsetting my stomach. And he is trying to breathe as softly as he can and communicate through his mind for a gentler message be brought. Tell me about Tami. Tami's bloodline in you. He's saying, I fell for a dame. She was so true to her name. And yet for him, it brought him fame. It brought ridicule, and it brought pain upon him when the other giants realized or knew or learned of his love for he's saying from a human girl. He's saying his heart just wanted to wrap around her and fulfill her whole surroundings with he's saying mother of pearl, but with jewels. He just adored her so much. And for it, he paid for that. He's saying we were large enough for at the time. We need not pay any price. In other words, we need not be still any gift to any human our size. Are dawning upon a woman. And that was to mesmerize our eyes. Was sure to be fallen only one master, meaning only one. Like very rarely would that happen. And for it, the giants, they sheltered their eyes. Like they never sought to see a human woman well enough to allow her to captivate their eyes. He's saying she took my heart the moment that my eye touched her view. Tell me about her. Tell me what she looked like. Tell me this would be a female ancestor of yours. He's saying she was plentiful within her eyes. When he looked into her eyes, there was such a fulfillment of, she fulfilled his every idea of what beauty was, or, and for it he could not, he could turn his eyes away from her, but he could not turn his mind's eye from her after that. She bestowed upon me her spell. For the richness of what I knew was love. As hardy as we were as giants, and as knowledgeable as we were to avoid love, he's saying he had no choice but to succumb to it. When he said, I did kneel for her, for love, meaning he got bit by the snake. He got bit by the love bug. And he's saying for it, his past was gloomy. In other words, he didn't live long after that. Is that what you mean? He says, my death fell me hard and fast. But it wasn't, he's saying it. Go ahead. I've never ever spoken to a giant. He's saying, Andrea, we come to you in a sense of peace, and for our being viewed for our peacefulness. He's saying he comes with love intended, and for his heart be seen as it intended, which was love for. Go ahead. He's saying for Tami's aunts long before her. Her aunt's mistake? Are you saying mistake? And he might be saying her aunt's mistracing of her placing her. She misguided her own way back. I guess they met. And with, he's saying with her feet, they met somewhere. And for her returning back, she failed her retreat. In other words, she got lost trying to go back, go home. her feet were found in ill retreat. In other words, she never made it back. But she did leave you. He's saying, yeah, when they parted, he never turned back, not to Beale. So when she was lost and lost, he didn't know. So what was, I mean, never mind. Go ahead. Andre, we shared. From just within our eyes meeting each other, the sharing of how much we cared for one another, it is the thing that you seek to enjoy from the Beauty and the Beast. He's saying, I could not look at her twice, for not knowing what would become of my eyes. And he's saying, for her beauty could dim. In other words, it was so forbidden. It was so forbidden. How old? Oh, you already told me how old you were. So, do you know her name? And I'm hearing Antoinette. But he's saying Mary. Like Marionette. It's hard. I don't get names. That's so sad. I know there's ETTE in the end of the name. Marquette or something like that. She was a seed of the Most High. She was a daughter of somebody very important in kingdom. He's saying kingdom demised. In other words, it's not a place that they were allowed to trail. For there were lines that had been drawn where giants and men, and they were to stay tight to staying on their side of those borders, and that your aunt, she crossed over her borders onto his, and during that visit, I mean, they spent some time. He's saying, I knew not of her death due to her not due to after she left, they parted, that she got lost. He knew not that until his own death. And he's saying, had I hurried back to the realm of his, the den of his own, within enough time, that message would have been brought him to his knowledge of it, for his knowing of it while he was still alive. He says, my time was short-lived when he returned to his own den. For the look and the seeing of the truth was in his eyes, and they saw it. There was no, he was saying there was no lying about it. for the truth was so captive and held in his eyes that he was in love, a forbidden one. He says, I was chastised, and all for well doing so. For giants were to be strong, and they were to be known for their hearts be of stone, to be cold, and for a woman to melt it, like never be known, like that was not allowed. And they saw through me, he says. They saw it in my eyes. He says I died that day in inside of my den by my rulers. But what he means is by his peers. For them, I don't know the word that you're trying to say, but for their capsizing on his folly, on his um seeing to his demise because of it. He says, my brethren, they were not without their own love for me in their eyes, upon them ending my life. He says, I will forever be in love with her. And he's saying, for all the days in all of my lives. And yet he will never stumble upon her again. For his safekeeping of a love that would see both of their demise, if it was ever known. But that was only in that life. You know that. Oh my God. You are so big. Thank you for sharing that. That was huge. He's saying it now. It's marionette. Marionette. He's saying Marinette. It was Marinette. And he's saying, my fair maiden. Marinette was her name. He's saying her aunts had many freedoms. In other words, children that begot children, that begot children, that begot children. And Tami, you're one of them. And he's so big. He really gets to my stomach. But he's for the best of my ability to see him, as big as he is, he's kneeling down. He's taking his hat off and he's putting it at his abdomen, and he's kneeling down and he's bowing for the honoring and the opportunity to be before you, Tami, in jest. So God, huh? Thank you. He's so crushing me, and he's not even near me. And now he's apologizing to me. And he's getting away from me as fast as he can, because he doesn't want to hurt me. That was awesome. That was fucking cool. Wow. Neat. So God, thank you so much for sharing that. we do have a history of giants, and yet we are withheld so much. But God, it's a love story. It really is. My stomach's hurt. I'm gonna go. He's waving. He is so far from me now that I can start to see the whole his whole body into view. But I don't think I'll ever see his face. Well, that's good, guys. Tami's giant.